Hi, everybody. Let's talk about Avicii. Um, Last night I came across the documentary, Netflix documentary, Avicii, Tim, and I didn't even know that he died before watching that documentary. And it was very sad that he took his own life. And I want to talk about my conclusions as a therapist, hypnotherapist, and a life coach because I always preach self awareness, and I believe that if he had a good level of self awareness of his introverted personality and what makes an introverted personality thrive, maybe, maybe things could have been different. Because it was very frustrating for me because as I was watching it, I was like, he was just the kid who wanted to make music. There was no reason for a person like that to die. And he was a good person. And it was very frustrating, honestly, and it's still frustrating thinking about it. I'm still not recovered from it. And I can only imagine what his family is going through and friends. Anyway, from what I could see, so there is a test that I recommend that everyone takes. It's called the Big Five, and those five are five words. Each one of them starts with a letter. These letters together are made into an abbreviation, which is the word ocean. O for openness, C for, let me see how we pronounce this word, conscientiousness, I think. I hope I pronounced that right. E for extroversion, and A for agreeableness, N for neuroticism. And it gives you percentages, okay? It gives you like you're 50% extroverted and you're um, 80% open and so it gives you levels. And for Tim, he was obviously a big time introvert, but he was also, in my point of view, from what I could see, a big time agreeable as well. And as I was watching, I was like, why? 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 It frustrated me because why was he that agreeable? You know? And that's the thing. Like I feel like in my sessions with people, I notice that when someone understands something about themselves, when someone understands the why am I that extroverted? Why am I that disagreeable? Why am I that neurotic? Or why am I that anything? It helps them solve a lot of things. They be like, oh, well, if that's how my mind works, then that's what I should do. And I should do this and I should do that because that's going to help my mind this way and that way. For an introverted person, I'm an introvert as well, but not as much as Tim. As introverts, we recharge our energy by staying alone in a room for as long as we can. And depending on how introverted you are, it can be days, it can be weeks. That's how we recharge, and then we come out to the world like energetic and like the life of the party, kind of a thing. I could see that he didn't know that about himself. And what didn't help is that he was so agreeable. He was so agreeable that uh like, oh, we got a tour, we gotta do this. Yeah, sure, whatever. People if you noticed in the documentary, he went to make a song with, I think, Chris Martin from Coldplay, and I think it was Chris Martin, and he was with him for like an hour or something, because then he had to go and meet another person. I think it was uh, John Bon Jovi. And then after that, he wanted to meet another, because he was always getting a lot of deals, a lot of clients, a lot. And he would say yes. He would always say yes, right? I don't remember in the documentary him saying no to anything, except one when it got out of hand. Except when it was like 2 years of DJing and touring every day. And then it was like, okay, I can't take it anymore. That's honestly, for the first guess was like, this is a classic case of burnout. And yes, he was burned out. It was he in one of the scenes he said, I wrote a note about it here. I could be wrong about the exact quote, but he said something about like how he loved doing it until he just couldn't do it anymore. That's burnout, right? And why? Because he kept saying yes, because he didn't know that as an introvert he needed time for himself. He didn't know that. If only someone told him, like, hey, that's what you need as an introverted person. It's really sad. um, and then he said that he stopped, and then he went to a psychiatrist, I think, and he started exercising and dieting and started shitloads of stuff at once. When you're burned out, you need to do nothing, like literally nothing. Wake up, stay on bed for whatever, how many hours, just do nothing. But all of a sudden he did everything at once. And that's what also he said after that sentence. He said maybe that's the problem, is that he was doing a lot of things at once. So not only it's a clear burnout case, it's also a clear case of not knowing what you need and speak out to that. But at the same time, what also frustrated me is that he did take 2 years or something like that of traveling, meditating, and like not making music or doing any. He took his time to take some rest. So what happened? It's frustrating to me. Um, the documentary is all about music and how this whole thing started. There are other things in his life that we don't know, his personal relationships, what happened in his childhood, because he grew up to be an introverted, agreeable person. How did that happen? Right? I'm like, that's my approach in my sessions. How did that happen? How did anything and everything happen? So you understand yourself more. I also come from an engineering background. Always like digging, right? And that helps. I know that it helps. I've seen it help with clients who are like, oh, this is why I'm this way. Do I need to keep doing that or not? I needed it back then, but do I need it now? Then they take charge of their behaviors and their personality, right? So, not saying that he needed to change anything in his personality, he just needed to to change some behaviors, as in, like, as an introvert you need at least one day off of anyone and everything. You need one day to just stay in a room and do nothing, talk to no one, He didn't know that he needed that. He didn't know that he needed to recharge by doing that. And that's what, top that with his agreeable personality, you know? Self-awareness is important. It's really important. Like once you know who you are and why you are, you can do something about it. You can embrace who you are and enhance that and help that grow, nurture your introverted personality, you know, by taking breaks and all of that. So self awareness is super important.